Angry guy here, and feminists are furious that feminist movies featuring women and made by women suck. Let's just go ahead and jump into this video. As you know, the recent Miss the Marvels movie came out, and it's not doing well. Let's just hear what a feminist has to say about this film, and you can see the reasons why they will never be happy.
I did, because I like all three of these characters. Christy here, fresh out of seeing The Marvels. Notorious film before it even comes out. Lots of bad word heading into this. Supposedly it tested poorly. A lot of behind the scenes turmoil. Try to go in with an open mind. Truly I did, because I like all three of these characters in the previous incarnations in which we have seen them. Whether it is in Miss Marvel, or in WandaVision, or in Captain Marvel. I like all three of these actresses. I like the idea of this very much. This is easily the worst MCU movie yet. It's awful, you guys. It looks like crap. The writing is so not funny and so stiff, and it's so just like people standing around explaining things to each other, and then it's totally incomprehensible action sequences. There are exactly two cool parts of this movie. There's a couple of times where it breaks from what you expect, and it's weird as hell. There are these couple of cool scenes, couple of cool sequences where they take real chances. And I feel like that weird movie is lurking inside of here, lurking underneath all of the cheesy special effects and all of the having to explain stuff and tie everything back into other parts of the MCU. I wish that they had the chance to just take a risk with this, you know, and make it something totally singular and strange. Because when it lifts out of the morass of what we're seeing, it's like, we could have had this, we could have had something totally cool this whole time. No. So it looks really chintzy, the score is super annoying. It's quick, it's short, it's only an hour and 45 minutes, which going into it, I'm like, sweet, that's awesome. Like, the whole world's not gonna be at stake, but the flip side of it being so short is that it feels very underdeveloped. It feels just rushed. So like the emotional connection between these three characters and their backstories feels really wedged in, really shoehorned in. It's really bad. And what bums me out is it's going to do horribly, and so there's going to be reluctance, I suspect, to greenlight movies that tell stories about these kinds of characters. But there's always more Marvel to come, whether we want it or not. Are you guys looking forward to this? Let me know. Alonzo's going to have his own reaction to it as well. We'll have a full review for you on Friday, a non-spoiler review. I would not spoil this for you, but I will tell you not to go see it.
Guys, so here you have a feminist who went and watched the film, and you know, she's there going on about how much she wants to see movies by women, you know, that have a female-centric cast and that are centered entirely around women, and directed by women and produced by women. And she's not happy. She's not happy because the movie is terrible. And it's amazing, guys, that it's like women cannot learn. They cannot seem to comprehend that everything cannot center around women, nor does everything need to be created or directed or helmed by women to have something that is enjoyable that includes female characters. It's just crazy. You know, a good movie does not necessarily mean that, for example, if you want to have a good movie about women, that the person who writes the script and the person who directs the film should not have to be a woman. You understand? It's about the person who says, hey, we have an idea for a movie, we have these characters, and we're going to write a movie about these characters. You want the best person for the job, regardless if that's a woman or not. You know, the first Wonder Woman movie did pretty well. It's one of the more successful movies in the Wonder Woman franchise. The second one evidently just didn't turn out so good. But Patty Jenkins did a pretty good job on the first film. And what made it turn out so well is because it wasn't so much that they had a female director. It was more so that she was good at her job, and she did a good job. When producing content, you should never think about, oh well, I'm going to hire someone based on, their gender or the color of their skin or any external characteristics. You want the best person for the job. And it's unfortunate that women, modern women, some of these women don't even want to call themselves feminists, but these are the same ideals that they have, are basically in complete shock. Like, they're like, but it was a movie about women, made by women, and it's terrible. And it's like they can't comprehend. You're not choosing the best person for the job. You're because, for example, how many directors are there who are women? Not as many directors as men. And so you end up with a much smaller sample. You end up with a much smaller pool of candidates to choose from. So as a result of that, you are never going to find someone, or very rarely will find someone, that is going to meet the needs of the that's going to meet the needs necessary, or have the skills necessary to produce something great, because it's such a much smaller size. Versus if you have everyone competing against everyone else, and you don't look at gender, but you look at qualifications and results, and then choose someone that way, then you're going to have the best outcome. And that's what we're seeing in Western society. It's been happening with so many different things, even in the workforce, where people are being hired based on their gender, not instead of their merit. And then you wonder why, for example, in coding, you have a lot more men available to code versus women, who are very much, have significantly fewer numbers when it comes to coding. And you start hiring based on gender, and then you end up with most of the female hires struggling compared to the male hires, because you had a much larger pool of candidates with the men. So with the men, you hired based on merit, while with the women, you hired based on gender. And it doesn't help. That does not help anyone. And unfortunately, women don't care, because as long as they see women being represented in these spaces, as long as they see a woman and hear, oh, it's a woman who did this and a woman who did that, they don't care how qualified she is. Not until something goes wrong, and then they're all up in arms. And if they can't blame the men, then they're suddenly going to say, well, who hired her, and blah, 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 blah. And then when you bring up the fact that, well, she was a diversity hire, then they get furious. But bro, this was your decision. You guys made this, you guys created this world. So you have feminists, the first thing they say is that, I love the idea of a female-centric movie. I love the idea of a movie made by women. I love the idea of everything being woman. And then they get upset when it's, you have something that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The quality is very low, even though they were given an extraordinary budget, but they can't seem to understand that you cannot base, if you're going to hire people based on their external characteristics and not around their merit, not based on the skills that they bring, then you're going to end up with terrible results. And honestly, I personally don't care. I'm not crying for anyone. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying my content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss another video again, and like the video, because it tells YouTube you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of it. So YouTube will show you more of it. But guys, I don't feel bad for them. They made this choice for themselves. And then to see them sit and crying on social media that these female-centered movies and shows are not good, what did you expect? Look at SheHulk. SheHulk is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And how did that happen? Well, the movie, instead of focusing on actual villains, and instead of focusing on, being a Marvel-focused movie, an action-focused movie, it was focused on the patriarchy and the difficulty and difficult reality that, the main character experiences each and every single day by simply being a woman. I mean, in She-Hulk, the Disney series, she basically says that, she's constantly fighting her rage each and every single day, just being a woman and everything she has to go through, compared to Bruce, who lost his ex partner, Black Widow, because she she passed away in in Endgame, and one of his good friends, Tony. And let's not forget that he literally went for like 7 years without a bunch of his other friends, because many of them were lost when Thanos snapped his fingers and wiped everyone out. I mean, there's a lot more to it. And then also let's not forget that he became a cripple, after using the Infinity Stones. So, he couldn't use one of his arms, even as the Hulk. But no, 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 no. Her being a woman and having to simply exist in a society where there are men that make her feel uncomfortable on a daily basis, and the patriarchy. Yeah, that in and of itself is the greatest struggle ever. It's like women don't seem to realize just how good they have it in Western society. You look at what's happening around in the rest of the world, and you realize that modern women don't care. They absolutely don't care, because they are disconnected from reality entirely. And when they say things like, a guy who says, what do you bring to the table, is not a real man, because the woman is the table and her presence is what she brings. I saw this video where this woman said that, her presence is enough. That's why when a man gets into a relationship and he suddenly starts to dress better, and his life starts to improve gradually, and all of these things start to happen for him, that was just because of the woman's presence. But here's the thing: these women don't even understand why the lives of men would improve in the past when they had a woman in their life. A lot of men talk about this now when they go over to foreign countries and they find someone over there. And the woman that they have, she cooks for them, she cleans for them, she irons their clothes, she creates a warm, inviting home. So when they come in, once they're done, fighting, against the world, because men are basically always at war with the world. When they come home, they have peace. And the woman is their peace. She gives them peace. And that is so much. She complements their life. So they don't have to worry. She takes some of that burden off. She gives him a massage at night because he works hard. He works hard. So she makes sure that his stomach is always full, his sack is always empty, and that whenever he's around her, whenever they're together, she is going to do her best to bring him peace. And these modern women in Western society, they don't comprehend that. They believe that when they get married, the guy is supposed to provide everything they need, everything that they could need. He's supposed to provide food for them. So she should be able to, use DoorDash whenever she wants to, or order from a nice restaurant whenever she wants to, every single day, because she doesn't cook. So he has to provide. He needs to make enough money so that she can live this type of life, soft girl life. She should be able to go shopping when she wants to go shopping, buy what she wants to buy. She should have, because a real man provides a cook. He provides the food. A real man provides someone to do the cleaning, or he does it himself. A real man provides everything that the woman needs and does not ask for anything in return. And a real man understands that without a woman, there is no relationship. So her very presence is enough. It's unbelievable. These women don't even understand why a man's life improved in the past when he had a woman, because she helped to take some of the load off. And women saying that men will always need women because if there's, without women, no babies, that is such a sad thing to say, because that's basically saying that the only intrinsic value of a woman is her ability to reproduce. So what does that really say about them? So basically, if you're saying that, if a woman says that, right, men will always need women, then what happens when she can no longer reproduce, ladies? What happens at that point? Because if that's all you base your value upon, then that's how you will be perceived. So that means that if she can no longer produce, then she no longer has a value then, right? And a woman goes, no, that's not true. Then what does she offer to the man? Because if you say that her ability to reproduce is what she offers, and she no longer has that, then what does she offer? Her presence. And how does that presence help him? How does that presence help him? What does it contribute to the relationship? Because I gave you examples of what women actually contributed in the past, and what women who are outside of Western society contribute. But what do you actually contribute? What does that actually contribute? What does that present simply contribute? Oh, energy. That energy will transform his life. Bro, this is why I tell y'all to stay away from the churches, stay out of the streets, stay out of the churches, stay away from these people, stay away from these places, because guys, you will regret it. This is what they're talking about now. Listen, guys, this is how bad things have gotten in Western society. That they're literally talking about energy now. Like, listen, like just being here in her energy, just her energy is enough. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, so what kind of energy? That masculine energy? Because men don't like that masculine energy. Men want feminine energy. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Guys, the truth is, the reason why these women are constantly going at it with foreign women and saying that they're poor, they're uneducated, they can't speak English. The reason why they're doing this, one of the primary reasons, is because they can't compete with these women. And this is their way of telling these women to back off. Because they can't compete with these women. They have no way of competing with these women. These women are younger, they are more feminine, they are fit, they are friendly, they are raised to be wives, they can cook, they can clean, they know how to satisfy the man in their relationship. And this is something modern women can't do. They don't have these things. And femininity is something, by the time a girl, I said like by the time she's 10 years old, but someone corrected me. They said by the time, they're like, maybe 2 or 3, it's done. Because those traits are set in. Femininity is part of a person's characteristics. It's a part of a person's personality. All right. Either you have it or you don't have it. And it's the sad truth. A woman who does not have femininity, she can try to emulate femininity, but it will never be a part of her. For example, women in the Philippines, cooking and cleaning, that's a part of their culture. That's a part of their makeup. Cleanliness, that's a part of their culture. That's a part of their makeup. That's a part of their personality. These are things that Western women don't like doing. They view these things as servitude. And even if they learn how to do them and start doing them because they want a man, it's not genuine. And eventually they'll get tired and they'll want to stop doing these things. And the relationship won't last. What do you guys think regarding this? Feminists are furious that feminist movies featuring women and made by women suck. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, so let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Then walking away, and cheers.